If we do go there and we put on a performance and we get over the line, I'm expecting it to be a high-scoring game. But if we get over the line, it is like a statement in a way.
I think it is, yeah.
They're doing really well, but it's not like a massive team. But the form table, they're absolutely smashing it. So
there's little echoes to me of Leicester 19 in this one. You've got to be careful because they're about Forest as well.
We didn't
go on to win the game, so you've got to be really careful because you don't want to say. And also at this point of the season, it is a little bit different, but. Everyone knows we play good stuff. No one doesn't respect them in the country. If you're watching this, you don't respect Bournemouth, you're not paying attention, you know what I mean? If that's the case, everyone knows what they're good at. The difference, there's something in this though where I feel like I can pick their team. I feel like I can pick our team. I feel like I can say what their approach is going to be. And if I can say that, well, Arne Slot can say it as well. Yeah. And then he can get the lads as red. What my point is, Liverpool got no excuses now. Almost everyone who plays for Liverpool didn't play midweek. They know what Bournemouth are going to do. Slot's going to give them all the information. And this is where I think there is an echo of that 2019 thing against Leicester, where I expect all of our lads to stand up and go, we respect you, we think you're good, so watch this.
Yeah, but also the thing is, the reason the Forest game had the echoes of it was due to their table position. Yeah. But their playing style was just an absolute throwback. And let's have it right, we drew 1-1, but we murdered Forest, we should have won. Yeah. We 100... play that game 10 times and we'll win it 8 or 9 times. Genuinely, that's how dominant we were. Second half, they didn't get out of their own half at all. That's not Bournemouth's style. No. Bournemouth are not coming to make you play around their box. They're going to try and get at you, they're going to try and come at you. And if you're Liverpool, I just feel like that plays much more into our hands than the Forest style did. It can be so difficult and frustrating to be trying to take shots from 20 yards through 4 fellas' legs, whereas against Bournemouth, if Liverpool put on the type of performance and the cohesive performance between players that we know, firstly know that we're capable of, but secondly that we're probably due in terms of just stamping our authority on this league title race, because we've had not a wobble is definitely overselling it, by the way, because we've lost 1 game all season, but we were on a major winning run, we've had a few draws. This is the type of game where, as you've said, the players are like, no boys, you can imagine that, let's put it this way, I don't think Slot's doing much of a team talk. Van Dijk's probably saying to the lads, boys, he doesn't need to say a single word. You all know what you've got to do. And they, as you said, look around the changing room and look at each other and go, trust him, trust him, trust him, trust him. And then go out and just do it. And if Bournemouth do try and play their game, they'll be dangerous. But that won't half help us. And if we play our game and they play theirs, there's only one real winner.
Well, I think the biggest thing is they will only try and play their game. That's why you've got so much respect for them and why it works. You know, it's their team, again, look around the dressing room, they're all looking at each other going, we trust each other. But then that's why Liverpool, Josh, have got to impose themselves and have got to back themselves, back each other through the difficult moments. For me, the big one in this is there'll be moments where we need to dig each other out. And we've been great at that this season, but the way they play means that every now and again there'll be a bit of a crisis, some crisis defending, something will go wrong, someone will nick it. Well, that's the point, lads, when we all stand up and we all back each other. And for me, that's going to be the most important thing here. If we do that better than they do, then I think we're in really good shape to take the points.
Yeah, and this is another one of those games which I think probably similar to the way that we came into the Forest one with so much respect for Forest, where really like it reminds you how much quality there is in the Premier League, and where I probably disagree with what you said before about us, like, you know the way that Bournemouth are going to play, so Slot's going to know. Like, I think that's the reason that so many sides are so good in the Premier League now, is they've all got their sort of like the style of generally how they play, but they're so good at being able to adapt it in game as well.
Yeah, tweak a little bit.
Yeah, there's so many good coaches in the Premier League now who are able to do that. Like we've all heard Amorim tearing his hair out already over this United side, you know, talking about feeling like it was his 50th birthday rather than his 40th. And you still saw the way that with players.
He's
got well, yeah. He's got a quote to slaughter them every week. I heard that one before.
He's brilliant. He's been really good value so far. But like, you know, that 11 that United put out against us, I'd have called them all crabs before kick-off, and suddenly he's got Ugarte and Dalot setting so many traps for us.
Fair play.
And Liverpool have fallen into them, and that's where that will be my concern for Liverpool going into this, and where I think they did undo themselves in the Forest game. Is they need to be prepared to suffer more in moments in games, and that's where they're digging each other out becomes more and more crucial. I think is the idea that, like, listen, I love when Virgil's barking orders and stuff at his teammates, and Virgil's the one who's constantly bailing them out. I'd like him to be going to them like, I'm not just going to shout at you all game, lads. You return the favour for me here. I want to feel like I'm being bailed out by my centre half partner, by my left back. I don't want the right back to be letting crosses in constantly and doing all these kinds of things. I don't want Clivert to have any room on the edge of the box. That's up to you lads who are in front of us to make sure that never happens. And that's where I think this game will be won and lost, really, is by how much either side is prepared to suffer for long periods in this game. Because one thing I can guarantee, and I could say, and where I probably agree with you to an extent what you said before, to go back on myself a little bit, is that Iraola will have them set up to suffer loads in this game. Because any team who's worth their salt and comes against Liverpool this season will be saying to themselves, you're going to have to suffer for maybe 60 to 70 minutes of this game. It doesn't mean that you can't win it if you have to.
It's going to be a massive one for courage, I think, Kev. Courage in everything that you're doing, courage in the way they're playing, courage in the constant approach. I often say about big games, first goal's massive. I don't think that's necessarily the case in this one. It might be the second one is. But I do feel a little bit in this one like these are two sides who are just going to knock lumps out to each other for 95 minutes and stuff's going to happen. And that's where it does differ to Forest really in a way. Stuff is going to happen in this game and it's going to be how everyone manages their emotions.